Hey there, Nomads of Lore. I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Sean.
And together we are Mead and Mischief, your home away from no home. Today we're going to do a video telling you our predictions for episode 5 of The Wheel of Time. As we've been doing before, we wanted to give you a spoiler warning. This will contain spoilers for the show if we get it right, and contain spoilers for book 1 and maybe a small spoiler for book 2 as well. We'll get into that in a second. We're going to section this video out into the 3 main storylines that we've been following and giving our predictions in each of those 3. So let's start with Moiraine and Lan and Nynaeve. What do we think is going to happen there?
So that was the biggest story thread of episode 4. It was super exciting. We had all kinds of cool stuff and a killer ending, few moments and all that stuff, at least in our opinion. You can check out our full reaction and review of that episode up in the iCard and all that if you haven't seen it before. Thanks for everybody that has. We really appreciate all the support we've been getting over the last few days. But what we're thinking is this is going to flip, and this is going to be probably the most boring and the smallest of the 3 story threads in this episode. What our prediction for this story thread is, basically we're going to essentially get a funeral and we're going to get Lan and Moiraine and the rest of the Aes Sedai warders mourning the loss of Corrine and the others that probably died. And that our guess is this is the scene we've seen in the trailers with the white.
Okay.
Sorry, we're laughing. I don't know whether they cut that or whether it's in there, but book fell, ghosts. I don't know, something that's happening in here today. We're assuming that this is probably if this shot stays in the show, then this episode is where we're going to get the shot of all the white clad dead bodies. From the trailer or the whatever it was, teaser or trailer. Yeah. I think it may have been both actually. We're assuming that's going to happen here, and we're pretty definitely going to get the stepping, kissing the ring moment and all that kind of stuff. And
also Lan's intense crying
with the
thing
and
when
one more connection with the Aes Sedai warder,
which I know that some people are having a hard time with that, feeling that
we have felt the same way. Honestly,
that warders are supposed to feel a portion of what the Aes Sedai feel, and vice versa.
And Lan is never described as anything like that kind of emoting in the books, but
exactly.
I think I can understand, and it's like one that I don't know that I agree with the choice, but I can understand why it's there.
We also got to remember this is visual, so
absolutely,
you
with new people that they're continuing to try to build all these concepts and world pieces and things without pages and pages and pages. To do that in.
That's right.
And so that's really all we really think is going to happen in that story thread. They will probably set off, we'll kind of end that story with here we go to Tarvalin, and hopefully our friends are there. And that's probably all that's going to happen in that one. At least that's our guess.
Next, let's discuss Rand and Mat and their storyline. Obviously, these guys are going to be reeling from Tom's death and the interaction with the Fade, and Mat trying to decide, did he kill those people? That Mat and Rand both trying to decide, did Mat kill those people or did the Fade do it, or what's going on? All those things. So we looked a little bit more into this, trying to figure out what exactly was going to go in this episode. And on IMDb, of course, the episode is called, and I think they even have it on Amazon. The next episode is called Blood Calls Blood.
Yeah, they've had the titles out for a while.
Yeah. And so we know this is a portion of prophecy that is put in some of the books. And we're thinking maybe that we're going to get an introduction. It says also in the kind of the short description of this episode, it says that Rand and Mat will meet some strange ones, whatever that means.
Yeah, ambiguous purposefully.
So we're thinking that maybe they're going to meet Loyal, possibly. Could be strange. Definitely interesting.
Yeah, it's a Trolloc.
We've talked about it. We really think it's going to more likely be in Tarvalin that they're going to meet him, but could be in this next episode. And then also Min. and her tie to
Strangeness and
prophecy, and all in. She's very heavily tied to prophecy as a character. I'm not going to go too much into that because I don't want to spoil anything, but you book readers know exactly what I'm talking about, and you others, you'll figure it out as we watch. So, also one little note that I wanted to make, but first I'll give you another spoiler warning. Definitely spoiler for book 2 and spoiler for the show, because this is definitely happening at some point.
We'll put a timestamp on the screen and when this spoiler's over.
Yeah. So very, very short. It's going to be very brief. Anyway, we know Tom is not dead. So I don't know. I don't think this is going to happen, but there's a chance that he could come back in this very next episode. They didn't give him a lot of time to ruminate and kind of be on screen before they took him away. So the point has been made by a few people, and including myself. I think I said it at one point. I think that he's going to come back sooner rather than later, because the loss is not going to be as great for us as viewers. And so he could come back in this episode, possibly. Probably not, but we'll just throw that in there. Yeah. All right, so spoilers out of the way. One more thing I wanted to note with Matt and Rand is definitely in the books, as you know, there's lots of times that they run into dark friends along this journey to Tarvalin, but not Tarvalin in the books. Anyway,
somewhere else.
So we're thinking that possibly in this episode also there could be a run-in with dark friends or something, maybe tied to Min or Loyal, or they're, who knows. But probably to amp up and intensify the scene, there's probably going to be some dark friends or something going on.
Yeah, or not. Who knows?
Or not.
We'll see. This a strange prediction that doesn't fit in any of these categories is what I'm thinking. I don't know whether Jonathan's. We've been discussing so many things, getting ready for some of these videos today. I don't know whether he agrees with this figuring or not, but I'm expecting this episode 5 to be one of the worst episodes of the season. Just a guess.
Worst or boringest?
Well, both, kind of. I think we're kind of in a place where we're kind of an in-between stories, but I think we're going to get some excitement because of this last story thread. And so our last story, we've barely had anything going on with PERRIN and Egwene, of course. And I think we're going to spend the most time with them in this episode, them and the Tinkers and all of that. Excuse me. In the IMDb description there, it refers to them seeing an old or familiar face or something along those lines.
Familiar face.
And I think our prediction there is it's a familiar face to us, the viewers, but not a familiar face of them. Our strong prediction there is that they run into white cloaks. We're going to get some of the scenes that we saw in the trailers with the white cloaks circling them, and some of those moments, and maybe some battle scenes and some of those things, and the scene with Aram on the ground and all those things that we've seen in the trailer. That we're predicting that those things happen this episode. One other option for familiar faces that we might see is we might see some more wolf action. Wolves may show up, and we may see both. Things that the familiar faces kind of may be referring to both things, because we are expecting, and this is like Jonathan said at the beginning. I know, reiterating 1,000 times, just we're trying to be respectful to our viewers with spoilers, trying our doggonedest. If we get this right, this could be a serious spoiler for the show if this is true, and that is our prediction is that PERRIN is going to kill somebody again. That he's going to kill a white cloak in this episode. I don't know that it'll be a white cloak related to any of the other white cloaks. I kind of doubt that's going to happen. We kind of doubt that's going to happen. But that he's probably going to actually kill a white cloak, which is going to cause even Valda, which we've already seen, to be really upset with him, and to have some different showdown moments, and maybe kind of sort of take them into captivity, and maybe see some more tension with Valda and Davram Bashir, the leader of the White Cloaks, which we've seen briefly already, of course. But that's gonna be probably the big climax of this episode. Is our theory is we're gonna get this big confrontation and the fallout from the White Cloaks with Perrin and Egwene and all of that. So yeah, those are our predictions for episode 5 of the Wheel of Time.
What are yours?
Absolutely. We want to hear all your thoughts.
Been loving the comments. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
I've been very pleasantly surprised by you commenters, by you Wheel of Time lovers.
Yeah.
It's been awesome. So thank you for that. Awesome. We're excited. Subscribe, like, comment, subscribe, all the things. Ring the bell. Thank you. Y'all have a good
See y'all later.
Evening, day, all the things.